Ooh, Bad Larry.
What's up, everybody? Bad Larry here, and today we're checking out X Factor, issue number 27. Your eyes are not deceiving you, folks. This is a Christmas-themed episode, or an issue of X Factor, and you are absolutely right. This issue came out in April of 1988. So if you were looking to have your Christmas issues fall in December, well, Louise Simonson said to Marvel, best I can do is April for you. So here we go. Christmas issue of X Factor, released in April of 1988. As stated previously, Louise Simonson is writing this series in this issue, and her husband Walter Simonson is penciling this issue, and I ain't mad the way that Walter be drawing Marvel Girl, okay? So what's going on here is the reintroduction of the X Factor kids. So what we see Leech, Rusty Collins, Skids over on the right-hand side. Over on the left side, we've got Bubblegum Head Arthur, Boom Boom, and Richter. And if this is your first episode and you're like, who are these kids? Well, we'll get into their powers a little bit later, but roughly X Factor have rescued and sort of adopted these kids, these mutants, along the way. So read some previous issues and you'll figure out how they became the X Factor wards. But what I did want to go into is Leech. His power is to turn off mutant powers. So I don't know how Marvel Girl is floating these kids all over the city when he looks like pretty close to Marvel Girl, but we'll just let it slide for now. The X Factor kids were sort of stuck in Virginia, so them being reintroduced to X Factor is a bit of a homecoming, and the kids are now seen for the first time Cyclops and Marvel Girl having a little smooch together, and they're kind of giggling about it. Boom Boom is telling them to mind their business, you know. And Richter is looking at Beast saying, you look kind of funny. And they don't really know that Beast is suffering from mental retardation at this point, basically. But his strength is super high. And then the reporters are all rushing to X Factor. And now that X Factor are celebrities, their kids in the X Factor wards are de facto celebrities as well. So in this page, Louise Simonson gives the readers a recap of each one of the X Factor kids' powers. Now that X Factor is trusted by the human population of New York, the reporters are really interested on all the powers that the X Factor kids have. What makes me laugh is Rusty Collins, the redhead, is the only one who decided he wanted to semi-hide his identity with some kind of Lone Ranger Batman type mask, while all the other kids are just going in their regular clothes. Rusty is the only one who wanted to put on a disguise. But everyone knows that mask is not going to hide anything. Everyone can pick your ginger balls ass out of a lineup. That mask is doing nothing. Anyway, Rusty tells the reporters that he can manipulate and create fire. The blonde with the red beret, her name is Skids. She tells the reporters that she has a force field, so anything dangerous just bounces right off of her. The little kid with the big googly eyes and the pink head that looks like chewed up bubblegum, his name is Arthur. He is a mute. He talks in pictures. He can project what he's thinking in terms of a picture. But more so than that, if he's connected to anyone in any way, he can present that picture and show what that person anywhere in the world is doing. So he has quite an ability. Below him is Richter, who looks like he's doing the YMCA dance. He's able to vibrate things and shake things up. And the cool chick with the black sunglasses and the blonde hair at the bottom left, her name is Boom Boom. She was a street thief for most of her life, so she's devious. And she can make the little bombs, and she goes 3, 2, 1, and these bombs blow up. But Leech, who looks like literally a little green leech with no nose, he doesn't. He knows that these bombs are no good for X Factor's public opinion. So he tackles her. His power is to negate all powers. I brought this up earlier. So Boom Boom's little bomb failed to explode. And during the battle with Apocalypse, and as Apocalypse's ship was descending upon New York, crash landing, it did take out the tower of the Empire State Building. So X Factor's gift to New York during Christmas is to have Iceman make a giant Christmas tree on top of the Empire State Building, which is really sweet and nice, but you know, what happens when it warms up and that giant Christmas tree falls onto the street or melts? Like, where's it all going to go? So in the picture, it looks real nice, but in reality, it'd be like, that's kind of a scary thing. You know, this giant, pointy Christmas tree can topple over and it's humongous. What happens when it melts or falls over? And because X Factor's trying to make nice with the media, Cyclops offers Trish Tilby a telekinetic ride from Marvel Girl down to the ground from the top of the Empire State Building. And Trish Tilby's like, I don't know about that. But Beast kind of talks her into it, and she's starting to see that Bubblegum Head Arthur and Leech are really just little kids, and she's kind of being like, well, you know, they're kind of ugly. What's up with these kids? They don't look like regular people. And, you know, she's getting a little nauseous. Imagine you're just jumping off the roof of the Empire State Building and hoping some gal with mutant powers can safely guide you back down to the ground level. It'd be terrifying. Because Apocalypse's ship crashed and destroyed the previous X Factor's headquarters, all the Christmas presents that X Factor had purchased and gathered for all the kids have been destroyed as well. So Leech is looking around and looking at the presents. Angel, from upon the top of the building on a perch, is just angry. I don't know what his problem is. He doesn't like Christmas, or he's thinking that there's more battles to be had, and he doesn't like that X Factor is getting all of the humans' adulations and praise, so he's smashing TVs and stuff. He's got a little bit of an anger problem. I don't know if it's against Christmas or just X Factor in general getting the humans' praise. But remember, Archangel is, you know, got a bit of a bone to pick because of Cameron Hodge's devious plans that made the humans hate Angel and Warren Worthington. This is the reason why he crashed his plane and everything went bad, and he was turned into this version of Archangel. So he's clearly still got some problems. But the major point of this page is on the bottom right. Cyclops is walking by a group of TVs. This is how the news was presented back in the day before the cell phones. They just had a bunch of TVs and the news blasting everywhere. And this guy's telling Cyclops that the X-Men have been killed. And they were in some big fight. And Cyclops is like, the X-Men? What? So Madeline Pryor on the TV is speaking directly to Scott Summers, a.k.a. Cyclops. This must be some loop that they're playing. And she's saying, Scotty, wherever you are, I wish you all the best. Find our son. Keep him safe. Raise him well. I love you. Goodbye. And Cyclops is like, what? What? Is she alive? Is she dead? What's going on? My son is alive? He's with the X-Men? Where are they? And then the news is reporting that Madeline Pryor, they're calling her a quote-unquote civilian, was fighting along the X-Men, and then somehow they got engulfed into a giant energy ball and then just disappeared. So Cyclops is now thrown for another loop. He's thought that he's put Madeline Pryor and his son behind because he thought they were dead, but now all of this is being drugged back up, and he's got all of the news reporters all in his face, and Marvel Girl is like, "What's going on?" He's like, "I can't do this in front of the reporters. I got to go. I got to figure this stuff out." And then Marvel Girl realizes that the X-Men are dead too, so she starts to cry. I like the way that Louise Simonson and Walter Simonson are collaborating and writing and depicting these stories. Jean Grey, aka Marvel Girl, just realizes that the X-Men are dead. And remember, she doesn't have telepathy anymore. She can't try to link up with them. All of her power to come back to life basically took her telepathy away and enhanced her telekinesis. So in this version, Marvel Girl has no telepathy, only telekinesis. So she can't try to mentally link up with any of the X-Men. So, she's learning that they've quote unquote died, and she just has to comfort herself against the wall because Cyclops is bouncing. He's got to go figure out what's going on with Madeline Pryor and his son. So he can't comfort her, and now she's alone. And she just realized that Storm, one of her best friends, is died, and then Wolverine. Wolverine had the hots for Jean Grey, so they were kind of close, but not that close. Let's be honest, people. And then Colossus, she says like a little brother to her. Plus, Cyclops' brother Havoc. That's a big deal. So she's kind of feeling all of this at once, but she has to try to keep it together because apparently Beast didn't overhear what happened, and you know him. He's kind of emotionally unstable because of his mental retardation right now. So she's just gonna have to try to suck it up, But everything's hitting her hard, and so she's saying, thinking about Cyclops and saying that, oh, as a parent, that's your first duty is to your children. So she understands why he had to bounce so quickly, because when you're a parent, your kid is number one. And she realizes that, now that she's back to life, everyone had presumed her dead. She hasn't even told her parents and that she's back and alive. So she's going to go and, I think, talk to her mommy and daddy to get some comfort. Iceman is in charge of taking the X-Factor kids back home, back to Apocalypse's down ship, which they haven't been to yet. So he's taking them the fun way on the ice slide, but telling them to make sure that they keep Leech far behind because, you don't want to be ice sliding over the city and then all of a sudden have Leech get too close to Iceman and turn his power off and then fall to their death. So they're living kind of dangerous right now. They slide by the children's wing of the Roosevelt Hospital to give them a little bit of a Christmas spirit boost. Iceman and the X-Factor kids arrive at Apocalypse's downed spaceship, which is now their current home. And remember, they're celebrities and heroes, so the police and the reporters are still surrounding the ship and wanting to get a glimpse of X-Factor as they come and go. And remember, they can't get in the ship unless you're a mutant. So as they land, the cops come and give Iceman a Christmas tree and say that you can't have Christmas without a Christmas tree. So, the cops and some of the people are real happy and nice about it, but some other people, some other humans are hating still and saying, oh, there's a bunch of humans that are still hurt in the hospital. Why aren't you giving them Christmas trees? Why don't you stick to your own kind? So even though, human-mutant relations are getting better, they're seeming to be better, there's still a lot of mutant haters out there. And now that they're seeing Bubblegum Head, Arthur, and Leech, they're less likely to accept them compared to the other mutants that look normal, like normal humans. The X-Factor kids make it into Apocalypse's spaceship, and imagine, you going into a spaceship. It would be like amazing. These kids have been living in the tunnels, or just regular people living in regular lives trying to hide their powers, and now all of a sudden you're in some sort of cool ass spaceship. So Bubblegum Head Arthur and Leech are pressing buttons and seeing the TV. It's like, what is this? How does it work? And they all know that Beast is the smartest person that they know, and they're asking him how everything works, but they don't realize that Beast is now retarded, so he can't answer any of the questions because he doesn't know what's what, so he just smashes everything. Beast is now the Hulk of the X-Men. The more he uses his strength, the stronger he gets, but the dumber he gets. So I love it. X Factor, like the Avengers, have them a giant, strong, dumb guy. Iceman has to break the news to the kids of what happened to Beast, and that from Pestilence touch, he's growing stronger but dumber by the day. And Boom Boom's like, ew, gross, he's getting dumb. I thought Beast was different. He'd never yell at me. And Richter really lays into Boom Boom saying, oh yeah, I remember you're talking trash that you wanted to fight Apocalypse's Horseman? Well, that's the fight you wanted to be in, remember? Well, what happened to him could have happened to you, Boom Boom. Except in your case, no one would have noticed. And Trish Tilby is on TV telling the whole world that due to X Factor sacrifice, the city was saved, but the X Factor kids lost their Christmas, and one of the members lost his intellect. And here we go again with big baby crybaby Beast crying about what Trish Tilby said, because he thought that she was his friend, but she just told the whole world that he's retarded, so he's upset about that. Now remember, Marvel Girl's parents, her dad's name is John. Her mom's name is Elaine. They think she's been dead. She knocks on the door. John, her dad, is like, Elaine, come quick. And what's important in this issue as well is at the bottom, you see a little clack, click. Apocalypse's ship is starting to repair itself. Interesting. After visiting for only a few hours, Marvel Girl, aka Jean Grey, asks about her sister Sarah and how her house was firebombed, and her parents say that they were in England at the time that her sister's house was firebombed, so they don't know if she's alive or dead either. I mean, these poor parents, thinking that Jean Grey is dead now that she's coming back. These poor people have gone through the ringer. And Jean Grey realizes that she feels like there's some dark forces surrounding mutant kind right now, and it's really not safe for her to hang out too much longer at her parents' house, considering all this wacky stuff is happening around mutants, especially with Sarah, and then thinking about Scott Summers and what's going on with Madeline Pryor. So she thinks it's safer to just be a little bit distant from her parents right now. So she bounces. She's promised to find her sister Sarah somehow. And then again at the last frame, we see another click and whir. Apocalypse's ship is continuing to put itself back together. That's pretty cool. We go back to Apocalypse's down ship, which is now the X Factor headquarters, housing both X Factor and the X Factor kids. And because of Trish Tilby saying that the X Factor kids have no Christmas presents, all the New Yorkers and stores around New York have been delivering truckloads of Christmas presents to the X Factor kids, and they couldn't be any happier. They're opening presents early. They said there's so many. They couldn't even open all of them in time, and then Leech starts getting sad because he realizes that now he has so many presents, but there are a lot of sick kids that don't have nothing. And Boom Boom's like, I know what you're thinking. Don't you think about giving away all our presents? And then again in the last scene, we see some more bzz, 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 electrical stuff happening. Apocalypse's ship is super awesome. It's able to start putting itself together. autonomously. That's so cool. Boom Boom's being real stingy. She doesn't want to give any presents to any kids she doesn't know. But Richter and Rusty are like, all these people gave us presents. They don't know us. And she says, fine, fine, fine. But I'm keeping this sweater. And Arthur's all happy. And they create a diversion. And the X Factor kids load up a pallet full of presents. And Skids, using her powers, is able to just let it slide on down the road. And because of Boom Boom's distraction, the guards were distracted and they didn't see them leave, and they think they're going to play Santa Claus for the kids in the hospital. And more, the Apocalypse ship is putting itself back together. As Jean Grey gets back from visiting her parents, she realizes that they look so much older because they aged, but as Jean was in suspended animation, apparently she didn't age. And then she's talking about how she wished she could spend Christmas with Cyclops because she loves him so much, but he's off chasing phantoms around. And, she's kind of similar to Cyclops. There's something freaky going on, so she's a bit paranoid. She walks into the X Factor kids' bedrooms. They should be asleep, but they're all gone. No one left a note. So Jean Grey rushes into Iceman and Beast's bedroom like, where the heck are the kids? And, Bobby's like, you think they're in trouble? And we see that the X Factor kids may be in trouble. Maybe some hoodlums are wanting to steal their presents. And again, the last frame, Apocalypse ship is skitting and popping and putting itself together piece by piece. Very cool. Well, some common hoodlum trash are gonna try to steal the presents from the X Factor kids that they're delivering to the real sick kids at Roosevelt Hospital. And some thug thinks he's gonna pull a pew-pew shooter at Rusty and try to steal his presents. But Richter and Rusty are having none of it. Well, somehow Jean Grey got Beast and Iceman up and tracked down the X Factor kids just in the nick of time. Jean Grey uses her telekinesis to rip that gun from that hoodlum's hand, and they run, but Iceman freezes them in place, doing his best police. Stop! Freeze, thugs! And then Mommy Jean Grey gets the X Factor kids saying, oh, don't you be hiding from me. Y'all are in deep doo-doo. Jean Grey is trying her best to get her mommy voice on. And the X Factor kids are like, it was Leech's idea. We're just trying to give these kids some presents. And Leech is like, I ain't even sorry. I'm trying to do something good. And Iceman is laughing at Jean Grey for trying to be all mommy to the kids. And she's like, come on, man, back me up. I'm trying to be serious here. But, Iceman, he's a goofball. So she's like, oh, forget it. It's Christmas time. We got each other. Oh, happy days. Let's get these presents to the hospital. All the while, Apocalypse's ship is snip, snap, tippity-tap, putting itself together just like that. I mean, isn't that cool if you had a car that any damage or any dings or anything would just self-heal? That would be awesome. Christmas at the hospital is going swell. All the sick kids are getting presents. The media is recording everything. Beast is playing Santa. The kids think that Bubblegum Head Arthur and Leech are real elves. Iceman has turned himself into Frosty the Snowman. Everything's going great, and then Cyclops shows up, and Jean's like, where'd you find us? And he's like, what are you talking about? Everywhere you go, the media is following us. Not that hard to find you. Anywho, I'm bouncing. I gotta go find my son. I'm going to the airport right now. Bye. I like the way that Louise Simonson has written Apocalypse. Now remember, Louise Simonson, Walter Simonson, they created Apocalypse. So this is their true creation, Apocalypse, his personality and everything. He's always smiling. You can't get Apocalypse upset in this version of Apocalypse. He's so impressed with X Factor that he's given him the ship. He's gifted it to him. He said, "This is my gift to you," and now it's all complete. It's all fixed, and they earned it. They earned it. That X Factor earned this ship. But let's see now that it's fixed, and let's see if they're gonna start tinkering with it and see what happens after that. But then he wishes a Merry Christmas, and what you can see as well is Caliban is still skinny, but he's wearing the outfit of Apocalypse's horseman. So you can see and predict that somehow, somewhere in the future, Apocalypse will change Caliban. He did make him a promise. And so that's the end of this issue. Let me know what you thought of this Christmas episode. Make sure to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and stay tuned for the next episode real soon. Bye-bye.